Good afternoon, gang. Welcome back to Woodcraft. I hope you guys are having a fantastic beginning of the week. If you guys are interested in or like larger style knives, if you like recurves and you like a generally unique custom knife, I think you guys are going to be interested in what I have to show off today. Now, just a bit of clarification before I jump into this. While this is a knife review, this is a fully custom knife. While you can get one just like it, it does come with a fully custom price. If you guys have been around for the last couple years, the name Clinton Armstrong probably rings a bell. I have reviewed a couple of knives that he has made back when he was with Deer Creek Forge. Now he is no longer with Deer Creek Forge. It's not a harsh separation or anything like that. Him and his partner, they were running a business together, and they lived like a couple hundred miles apart. So it was difficult for them to work together. So they just decided to have two separate shops instead of one. That being said, Clinton runs his own shop now. It's called Deer Creek Wilderness Outfitters. He runs an awesome shop. He puts out a lot of semi-custom, mid-tech blades, some fully custom blades. It runs the gamut. He runs an excellent shop, puts out a lot of creative and very well-made blades. The knife in question today, you guys have seen this before. This is a beast. It is an absolute monster. Let's bring this in a little bit closer. Hopefully it'll come into focus here. This knife, like I said, it is a fully custom knife. It doesn't really have a name from Clinton. I have kind of nicknamed it the BZK. That got started as a joke because I asked Clinton what did he want to call this knife, and he said, I don't know, you pick. And so I jokingly said, well, let's call it the Bushcraft Zombie Killer, expecting him to protest, but he actually didn't. He was like, okay, whatever. So this has been coined the BZK. I don't know if it fits. It doesn't really matter. Like I said, this knife is an absolute beast. With all my rambling aside, let's go ahead and get the specs out of the way so you guys are more informed about exactly what this knife is, the size, how it fits your hand, stuff like that. And then we'll get on to some show and tell, and I'll talk about what I think and my experiences about this knife. As this is a custom knife, let's do this the old-fashioned way. Overall length is 13 inches. Blade length is 6.5 inches. Handle, including the choil, is another 6.5 inches. It is a 1/4 inch steel. As far as the belly here, the widest part is right at 2 inches right here. As I think I mentioned in the intro of this is a 100% purely custom knife, so this isn't something you can order directly off his website. But I asked Clinton before making this video, if you want this recreated, it will be $300. The blade steel on this one is $10.95. It is also offered in 3V. The handle material is natural micarta. The mosaic pins are made by Clinton as well. With the specs out of the way, like I said, this knife is a monster. Now, obviously, it is a recurve. It is very tip heavy. There's a lot of mass of metal up here. It is a 1/4 inch thick steel, so you know this is a pretty heavy blade overall. But again, Clinton is a very creative guy. He's a very smart guy. He has balanced it out very well in that while this is a tip heavy blade, the way he has shaped the handle, it fits into your hand very naturally. And while it does want to be tip forward or tip heavy or whatnot, just the contours makes it rest in your hand naturally. You don't have to fight to hang on to it. If whatever you're doing is making the knife kind of scoot up into your hand, you do have the stops right here, or the guard, whatever you want to call it. And the same is reversed back here. You do have a very pronounced pommel, which rests against the back of your closed hand very comfortably and very well. You don't have to work to hang on to this blade. Also at the same point in time, and you guys hear this from me with pretty much every knife review, if I was to critique it or get down to the nitty gritty, I would wish this handle was a little bit thicker, but that's because of I have very long fingers. I wear an extra large size glove, and usually if I can find it, I'll go ahead and grab a 2X size glove, even if it is a bit wide in the palm of my hand. So that being said, for the majority of the population out there, medium to large hands, I would say this is the perfect size. No matter how hard I've been working with it, no matter how tired my hand is, there really is no danger of it slipping out of my grip. While we're talking about doing hard work with this knife, let's go ahead and jump into how does it actually perform. It is a chopper. It loves to chop. Because it is 1/4 inch steel, it is very heavy. Because it is very wide at this point of the blade, it is, like I said and say over and over again, it is tip heavy, which means if you hit the sweet spot right about in here, it just chews through wood. It is quite literally, in my opinion, a small hand axe. It will just chew through wood like nobody's business. And as I keep on going back to, this knife is a monster. It is 1/4 inch steel, as I've mentioned several times, and it just creates a really nice thick wedge, so it batons exceptionally well. You guys know I'm not a huge batoner, but this knife, I really don't think it's possible to break it when you are batoning. So if you're a fan of extreme batoning, if you like your knife to be able to handle, just huge chunks of wood and just get in there and pound on it with your baton, this knife will definitely do it and not even blink. At the same point in time, it's obviously really good, in my opinion, about the big stuff, about the chopping, batoning, the hard and heavy work. But is it good at smaller stuff, the finer tasks? Yes, for the most part, it's definitely not, you know, a Woodlore style blade or an LT Wright Genesis or something like that where you can get in there and do some super fine crafty work, you know, carve out a gnome or something like that. Although I'm sure there are guys out there that are skilled enough to get that done. I'm not saying this knife can't do it. It's just not the best knife for that job. However, as far as firecraft, feather sticks, carving out notches to create, you know, a cook set or a pot hook, or to carve out a rough spoon or something like that, it does do a good job. It is, again, I take that back to the handle and the recurve, as well as this very well profiled proportion tip. It is efficient at the smaller tasks, so it lends itself for a very well balanced woods option. And speaking of the finer tasks, this knife absolutely loves to feather stick. It does an excellent job at feather sticking. The recurve here, you guys know I like recurves. Just the way that recurve hugs the cut that you're making for that feather, it just does an excellent job at it. And that grind angle that Clinton has come up with for this very thick blade allows it to get those curls done very efficiently, very well, and very easily. While it is an excellent feather sticking knife, it does kind of suffer in the area of push cuts, but that's to be expected with a thicker blade like this. With thicker blades, you're not going to be able to get the ease of push cuts that you can, say, out of an 1/8 inch thick blade. This is a 1/4 inch steel, so that's to be expected. It's not impossible. It's not that incredibly hard. It's just not as easy as a fine crafting knife. And before we conclude this video, I want to get you guys a close-up, another close-up here real quick. It is just absolutely stunning. Beautiful clean lines, grind lines that match perfectly on both sides, a secondary edge bevel that is a perfect angle when you mix it with the bevel here itself, and then just this handle. Clinton makes his own mosaic pins. This thing is aesthetically perfect as it can possibly get, in my opinion. As I mentioned in the very beginning of this video, folks, this has been kind of a two-purposed video. This has been a review of this knife, but it's also a show and tell of what Clinton Armstrong from Deer Creek Wilderness Outfitters can do. Because this is a purely custom knife, you can't go to his website, find this knife, and just order it straight. But that being said, you can go to his website and order many excellent blades. He offers blades in 1095, 3V, several different steels, several different designs, or many different designs rather. Many designs of classical inspiration, but also several designs that are all of his own. So he has a wide variety of tastes available. All the relevant links for Clinton Armstrong and Deer Creek Wilderness Outfitters will be in the description, both his Facebook page, website. Not quite there yet. The edges are done, but the center's not going to be. See what this tastes like though. Oh man, that is going to be beautiful. Anyway, folks, thank you very much for stopping by today. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've had fun showing it off to you. I have really enjoyed this knife. I've been using it for about a year and have had a ton of fun with it. Folks, if you found the video helpful, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button for me. If you did find it helpful, also consider sharing it with your friends. And as usual, guys, hit up that comment section. Let's talk about this knife, any other knife you'd like to talk about. Anyway, thank you again for being here. I will see you next time. You guys have a great day.